Carol remembered a conversation in one of the many trips in the Coupe de Ville. He remembered exactly where it had taken place. They were going to the airport, down Commonwealth, and had just turned at Arlington Street when he asked Ted if he had any idols. The night was rainy. "No, never," Williams replied. "You must have had an idol as a kid," Carol said. "Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, someone like that." "You were my idol." "No. I grew up on the West Coast. I didn't even know much about those people then. Never followed the major leagues very close. I didn't have any idols. No." Silence returned to the car. Carol wondered if he'd asked the wrong thing. He drove around the Boston Common and was heading on to Charles Street. More silence, windshield wipers whacking, when Williams suddenly spoke. "I take that back," he said. "I do have an idol. He's still my idol. Douglas MacArthur." "Douglas MacArthur?" "He's my kind of guy. He was my commander in the Second World War and the Korean War. I really respect him. Douglas MacArthur." Douglas MacArthur, huh? Carol decided that the perfect gift for Ted's birthday would be a signed picture from Ted's idol, Douglas MacArthur. One problem. How would a man get in touch with Douglas MacArthur? All Carol knew was what he had read, that MacArthur now lived in the Waldorf Astoria in New York and worked for the Rand Corporation. How would a man get through the switchboard at the Waldorf Astoria? Carol approached the head bellman at the Somerset with his problem. He knew there was an alliance between bellmen at big hotels, one helping the other for odd requests. The bellman at the Somerset connected him with the head bellman at the Waldorf. "You'll never get a hold of him," the bellman at the Waldorf said. "Not a chance." "Ted Williams," Carol repeated, invoking the magic name as often as possible. "This is for Ted Williams." "Here's your only shot," the bellman finally said. "A driver picks the general up every morning at 8:15 to take him to work. The servants don't arrive until 9 a.m. If you call in those 45 minutes between 8:15 and 9, you might be able to talk to his wife. And you have to take it from there." Carol called the next day. The general's wife answered. She was cold. Carol talked at his salesman's warp speed. "Ted Williams, the ball player. General MacArthur is his idol. Ted Williams. Ted Williams." The general's wife warmed a little bit. She said that the irony was that the general also thought very highly of Ted Williams. He considered Williams to be the personification of the American ideal, the true man's man. Ted Williams? Okay. She gave Carol the phone number and extension of the general's office. "Good luck." Carol dialed. "I'm James Carroll of Boston," he said. "How do you get this number?" Douglas MacArthur replied. The voice over the phone had dignity, force, strength. The only time Carol ever had heard it was on the news, MacArthur telling Congress that old soldiers never die, they just fade away. Never had Carol been so nervous. Never had he talked so fast. "Ted Williams, Ted Williams, Ted Williams." Slowly the general became interested. Yes, he truly admired Ted Williams, but he certainly couldn't go to Boston for a birthday party. Carol said, "No, that wasn't what I wanted." "A signed photograph?" "Oh, that was different." "How about something even better?" "I have a lot of oil paintings that people have sent me," MacArthur said. "They're paintings of me going back to the Philippines, most of them. I don't know why. People were inspired by my return to paint for some reason. Why don't I send you one of those? Would 4 feet by 3 feet be all right?" The painting arrived in a crate at the house of Carol's mother. He brought it to the Somerset on August 30th. Irene Hennessy, famous in New England as the Narragansett beer girl, "Hey neighbor, have a Gansett," saw him in the lobby. She was a friend of Ted's. "What do you have there, Jimmy?" she asked. "You wouldn't believe it," he replied. Unveiled in room 231, The large face of MacArthur stared at the party group. The inscription read, "To Ted Williams, not only America's greatest baseball player, but a great American who served his country. Your friend, Doug MacArthur, General, U.S. Army." Williams was delighted. He placed the picture on the mantel above the fireplace. Everyone stared in appropriate wonder. How far can a kid from nowhere in San Diego travel by hitting a baseball? This far. This far indeed.